Review video number 1. Direct variation. Direct variation equations are in the form y equals mx, where m is the slope. The y-intercept in these equations is 0. This means that when you graph it, the graph will cross through the origin 0, 0. For example, Robin gets paid $8 an hour to babysit. Her earnings are equal to $8 times h, the number of hours that she works. There is no additional money that she's earning. A non-example, a monthly cell phone plan costs $50 plus an additional 10 cents per minute. So the cost of the plan is equal to 10 cents times each minute plus $50 for the plan. Slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. M again is the slope. Slope is also known as rate of change. It's the change in y over the change in x, and this is how we represent it algebraically. It's the rise over the run. The b stands for the y-intercept. This is always our initial or starting value in the context of a word problem. It's the point where the graph crosses the y-axis, and it's always an ordered pair where x is 0 and then some number for y, where it crosses the axis. Writing an equation from a graph. So here I've drawn a graph, and you can see that the y-intercept is this point at -2 where the graph crosses the y-axis. We call this our b value, the y-intercept. Our slope is the change in rise over the change in run. So we draw our slope triangle between any 2 points on the graph, any 2 points that are on the line, and we count from here up 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1. This has a positive slope. It would be like we were walking uphill. So our slope is 3 units over 1 unit, and 3 divided by 1 is 3. Now we can write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. M is equal to 3, and B is equal to -2. So plus a -2 is the same thing as -2. Student Council is selling candy bars for $2 each. They spent $150 to purchase the candy initially. The graph shows their projected profit based on the number of candy bars sold. So I've graphed this scenario. $2 each represents our slope. M is 2. They spent $150 to purchase the candy. This is money that they have to make back. Our y-intercept will be a -150 because this is money they spent, not money that they earned. Each block of candy, each block represents 25 units. So 25 this way and vertically. This says amount of profit, and along the x-axis we have number of candy bars sold. So to graph this, we write our equation, slope times x plus our y-intercept, which is -150. So y equals 2x minus 150. When you graph an equation in slope-intercept form, you start with the y-intercept. So here is -150, and I go up 2 units, right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. And I continue this pattern until I can't fit any more points on the graph, and then I can draw my line. Another form of a linear equation is called standard form, and we have ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are all numbers. If you have an equation in standard form, you will use x and y intercepts to graph it, or you can convert this into slope-intercept form, which we just looked at on the previous slide, and then graph the equation. An x-intercept is an ordered pair that crosses at the x-axis. It's always a number for x and then 0 for the y value. Similarly, the y-intercept is another ordered pair where x is 0 and y is a number where the graph crosses the y-axis. Here's how to find x and y intercepts. So for example, 12x plus 9y equals 15. For the x-intercepts, let y equal 0. Take y out and put a 0 in instead. Then solve the equation. 9 times 0 is 0, so it disappears. Then divide both sides by 12 and simplify. 5/4. 5/4 is our x value. Remember, x-intercepts and y-intercepts are ordered pairs. So here's our x value, and we said y was 0. Find the y-intercept. Make x 0 in the original equation. Take this x out and put a 0 instead. 12 times 0 is 0. So we have 9y equals 15. To get y by itself, we divide both sides by 9 and simplify. 5/3. Again, write your answer as an ordered pair. X is 0 this time, and y is 5/3. Here's finding x and y intercepts. And this time the equation is in slope-intercept form, where in the last example our equation was in standard form. To find the x-intercept, again, let y equal 0. Take y out and put a 0 in. Now solve for x. You're going to subtract 2 from both sides. You get -2 equals -3x. Divide both sides by -3. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. This is our x value. It goes first in our ordered pair, and we said y was 0. Now, if the equation is in slope-intercept form, it's really easy to see what the y-intercept is. This is slope, y-intercept. Y-intercept is 2. B is 2. So we write it as an ordered pair. 0, 2. Writing equations in slope-intercept form. Write the equation of a line that passes through the point -2, 3 with a slope of 4. So in this problem, you're given two things. You're given a slope and a point. We're going to write the equation using slope-intercept form. We know the slope is 4, so I substitute in a 4. We have an ordered pair. That's an x and a y. So instead of x, put -2, and instead of y, put 3. Now, we don't know what b is. We don't know what our y-intercept is, but we can easily solve for it. 4 times -2 is -8. Carry down the 3 and the plus b. Now solve for b. Add 8 to both sides. 8 plus 3 gives you 11. Now we have the two components that it takes to write an equation in slope-intercept form. We have the slope, it's 4, and we have b, that's the y-intercept, it's 11. So y equals 4x plus 11. Y equals mx plus b. Sometimes you may be given 2 points. Write the equation of the linear function that passes through 3, -6, and -1, 2. Here's how you find the slope. We use the equation y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Label your points, x1, y1, x2, y2. And then simply substitute them into this equation. y2 is 2 minus y1 is -6, so we're subtracting -6, divided by x2, which is -1, minus x1, which is 3. 2 minus a -6 is 8. -1 minus 3 is -4. And 8 divided by -4 is -2. So here we have the slope is -2. Choose either point and find b. We're going to use the same process right here to find b. I'm going to use the first point. You can use either one. If I use y is -6, the slope is -2, x is 3 plus b. 2 times -3 is -6. -6 plus b, I'm going to add 6 to both sides, and I get 0. So, my y-intercept is 0. My slope is -2. I could write y equals -2x plus 0, or I could make it a little bit simpler and write y equals -2x. Now remember that whenever the y-intercept is 0, this is a special kind of linear equation that we talked about on our first slide. That's a direct variation equation. And so here is my final answer, y equals -2x.